this video, we're going to learn about the concept of algorithms in computer coding. So let's just start off with what an algorithm is. You can think of an algorithm like a recipe that describes the steps for doing something. Maybe it's your computer solving a problem or reaching some sort of goal. And you can think of it like a food recipe in that it lists the ingredients needed and it has a set of steps on how to make the thing that you're trying to cook. An algorithm is basically the same thing. You have a list of steps, and those steps can be followed to produce some sort of output depending on the ingredients. So let's take a look at what an algorithm might look like for a computer program. And let's say we were making a computer program, maybe it's a website or an app on our phone, and we want this computer program to ask an individual what their email address is. Maybe we want to send them emails or updates about our program or something, so we're just asking a person for their email address. Well, a computer algorithm for this very simple problem might look something like this. We start by starting the program, and then we create what's called a variable to receive the user's email address. So somewhere where we're going to save the user's email address. We're going to clear the variable in case it's not empty, so in case a previous email address was already saved in that variable. We're going to ask the user for their email address. We're going to store the response in that variable, and then we're going to check that the stored response is an actual email address. If it's not an actual email address, we'll send it back to number 3. We'll clear the variable. We'll ask again for their email address, so just making sure it's a real email. And then if it is valid, we'll skip this step and go straight to the step 8, which is the end. And this is very, very complex, and don't really actually worry about what these things like variables are. We'll learn all about those. But you can see that this is an example of what a computer algorithm might look like if we wrote it out in plain English. We have all these steps to get one desired goal of getting an email address. Sometimes we visualize computer algorithms in the form of a flowchart, and so as you develop your apps, you might do the same thing. Here is the same set of instructions written as a flowchart. So we start the program, we create the variable to save the email in, we clear that variable in case it has any answers, we ask, what is your email address? We store that variable, and then we check, is it a valid email address? If it's not, we repeat the process, we clear it, we ask again. If it is an email address, we'll end the app. So this is an example of like an algorithm, and this may look complex as we start to write out these computer programming recipes, but as you start to write your own programs, this will begin to become intuitive, and you'll start to draw these out yourself with all these kind of different flows and statements. So that's a computer algorithm.